Hey guys, welcome to the Model Citizen Podcast. We're your hosts, Hunter and Michaela. We are so excited to have you here. All right, let's dive in.
Hello, everybody. Good morrow. Good morning. Good afternoon.
What is good morning in Spanish?
Buen dia.
Oh yeah.
So there's Spanish. There's like the Spanish they speak in Mexico, and then there's Catalan Spanish, which is what they speak in Spain, which is like similar. There are some differences. So like
By
buenos
the way,
dias,
right off
is-
the bat,
yeah,
your hair is so short. I
it's
love it.
so short. I
No,
know.
but
I told you.
love it.
Also, let me take my earphones off though.
I love it. I don't think I've ever seen it this short.
It's really.
I don't think
short.
I've ever seen it this short.
Really.
I
It's
love it. You
almost
were
like
just talking, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's not even touching her shoulders."
Nope. It doesn't touch
What's
my
that
shoulders
like,
at all.
dude? I'm
It's
like,
wild.
I've always wondered like what that would be like to just have like no hair touching.
It's
your
actually
shoulders,
so
like,
nice.
back of your
It
neck.
really is so nice when you've had, and also like my hair was like such a weird length the last few months because I was like maybe I'm gonna grow it out, and then
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna grow it out.
I was, and then I texted my girl on Saturday morning and I was like, I need to cut it. And she was like, I literally had a cancellation. You can come in at 4:30 today. And I was like,
That's
hell
amazing.
yeah.
That's how I feel about slightly getting like some lowlights in. I'm like, I'm
Just
done. I literally want like a full. I want my blonde back. I want
know.
like it all
That
to go
is the
back to
life
what it
of a
was.
blonde, though. I feel like y'all are always trying to put a little red in. You guys always
Yeah.
want to put a brown in. You know, none of you want a full send a different hair color because
Mm-mm.
I feel like when you have a good blonde and when you've been blonde, it is impossible to switch from that.
Yes.
Mentally.
It's impossible. And yeah, not to fully take over what you were just telling me. I
was just
hair
going to
was
say,
just
so I know it's strikingly stunning. So Catalan Spanish and Mexican Spanish are different. Mexico Spanish are different, but not like massively different. There's just like little differences, but there's enough of a difference to where I felt self-conscious because I was like, oh, what if I say like, what if I'm like speaking anyway? So like and this may not be true. So like whatever, guys. But in Mexico, you say buenos dias, but in
yes.
Spain, you say buen dia. So it's the same, but it's different. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So like
Okay.
you can easily be dumb and
It's
look
like,
stupid.
hey, or it's like good morning, and it's like sup, right?
Yeah,
It's kind of like that.
kind of, but like they just there's S's on things that aren't on other. It's an
Yeah.
interesting, very, very, very similar language that I don't know the little tiny changes.
And
So
then
I mostly spoke in
there's
English.
and then there's Portuguese, which I think is bom dia.
Portuguese, yeah, bon dia, bon dia.
If you guys are just tuning in, Michaela's just off the heels of
I'm just off the
being
plane.
in España.
I was in España for 8 days. I'm a changed woman. I had this plan to have like a full flamenco outfit on when you signed in. So guys, just pretend like I did that. It's very
such a
on
missed
par.
opportunity that you
I know. Are you drinking a McDonald's Diet Coke?
Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely. Where do you think I came from?
It looks gorgeous. It looks beautiful.
Like,
I
there's
want
no
one
more ice
so
in it,
bad.
though.
Let me tell you something about Spain, and we're gonna get into this, but Spain, it's so different than America. It's hilarious. And you guys know, if you've been anywhere outside of this country, America is so America. We just have the biggest fucking drinks. Like our drinks are so big. Okay. Our cups are huge.
Yeah, Michaela, I literally was talking about that yesterday with Bryant because we were at Chit Chat, our favorite diner.
Yes.
And this kid across from us, he had ordered this, and I'm not judging, dude. I would order it too if I was his age. He had ordered these waffles with literally, when I tell you this big of scoops, 4 scoops of blue chocolate chip ice cream and then a bunch of whipped cream around it and some cherries on top. And I literally looked at Brian and I said, if like anyone from Europe was over here right now, they would be like, that is so American.
It's
like
so
just
American.
Cheesecake Factory It's so American. I like any of my friends who were from like across the pond, I remember Mercy, a girlfriend of
Mm.
mine from Australia. We were working together in Ohio, and she was like, I've never been to a cheesecake factory, but I want to go so bad. And I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
they love cheesecake. They love cheesecake, and they love PF Chang's, and they love our
yes.
Starbucks is here. They
Dude, I
love
was literally just
getting
talking about that
that
yesterday,
is
how like
so
everything
funny.
in
Isn't it
America is
it's
just
crazy. No, it's
big.
actually it's wild, and, like, I would be they serve everything still, like, in the bottle, and then they give you a cup with ice, and that to me, I'm like, "This is
I
crazy.
hate. I
You guys need to get the
hate.
machines." Like, I need a fresh Diet
I
Coke,
need a
and
fountain soda.
to their in their defense, they have Diet Coke, but it's the Coke Zero, and those are different experiences. I
Yeah.
don't care what anyone says.
It's a completely different taste.
It was a completely different taste, and you know what? Yeah, it was definitely yeah. There's so much to say, and it's like, where does one even start?
Well,
You know?
right off the bat, um, okay, I'm gonna take y'all back.
Yeah,
Okay. So Martin flew in a day early and then
yeah,
you flew in after. So, like,
yeah,
that's crazy. We're gonna get to what I think is the craziest part later
yeah,
at a later time.
yeah.
Um, so that was crazy. It was just one day apart.
Right.
Um, how was the flight? I feel like it was like you literally I like hardly even heard from you really. So I was like, okay, she's really traveling for like 12 hours. You
Yeah.
laid
Well,
over in Paris,
you
right?
didn't hear from me because the Wi-Fi wasn't working on Air France. So that's why you didn't hear
Oh.
from me. And this is just the first in a long line of gripes that I have with Air
Also, really
France at this
quickly,
point.
I'm sorry, but Air France, but also, Aer Lingus, that is a bad name.
That is a bad name.
Every time I see Aer Lingus, I'm
Air
like,
Cunnilingus.
no, literally, I'm like, that's a bad name. Anyways,
Yeah.
Air France,
Air France, the worst. First of all, the flight attendants
the
quite
worst.
literally didn't care if I lived or died.
No, yeah,
And I feel like that's another huge difference, and I actually said this on my stories, like, one of the biggest differences because between anywhere I've ever gone outside of America and America is that we have a level of customer service here, even if it's so fake, even if it's so fucking fake and the person obviously wants to deck you in the face,
yeah,
they're still gonna be like, "Totally understand right away, like, I'll make sure it happens." Like, that's kind of
right.
where I think we have a strength when it comes to us versus other countries. And that's great. I think it's cool that we have differences. I think it's great that we're good at that. And maybe other countries, it's not their vibe. Totally
Right.
cool. However, Air France can get fucked because the way that those flight attendants wanted nothing to do with any of us on there, they were pissed that we showed up. They were
Yeah.
pissed that we were asking them to do their job. They wanted
Yeah.
nothing to do with it. They would have thrown us out if
They
they
kind of like
could
that with
have.
every flight attendant. And this is not a diss to all of you listening who are flight attendants.
Well, I thought that first, and then I went on Delta on my way home, and I was like,
Oh, and it was a different
"Oh."
experience.
I was like,
Okay.
"Mm, beautiful American good old-fashioned
Okay.
American patriotic customer service. Thank you so
Okay.
much, guys."
Now aren't they dressed so good though?
No, not at all. There
Oh,
was none of
really?
that. No, and I feel like that has gone by the wayside when it comes to most companies. I like unless you're going on an Emirates, it's like no one's like
Yeah.
or like Air Japan, like no one's really dressing up anymore. They're wearing the least amount of the dressed up that they have to do.
Yeah. No,
I
completely.
mean,
They're
some
wearing
flight attendants will
like a
come on and they'll
black
be yeah,
economy or whatever.
literally.
Economy.
Some of them will show up and they're a little cunty, and I love that. Like, I love when they
Yeah.
have, like, a hat or, like, a scarf, like, when they do, like, the little
So cute.
that's so cunty, and I love that. But Air France and I, we have so much beef that it's insane. They
I
lost
cannot believe.
they didn't lose my bag, but
That's
they
right.
didn't my bag didn't make it onto my flight from Paris or from France to Barcelona. So,
That's right. So, okay.
that was a total debacle that we're gonna get into.
That's a total debacle that I
Yes.
literally cannot believe how chill you were about it because I would have thought in that case, like you not having your stuff and your things to me is like worst case scenario.
Right.
Like
I'm
I
an
guess
anomaly,
maybe
okay? I contain multitudes. I will freak out about stuff
truly.
that's, like, small, but the big shit, I'm always just like, "Ugh, what can you do?" You
Yeah,
know?
I was
And,
like, you're
like
just chilling about it. You're like, yeah, like, hey, I'm just wearing the same clothes. I was like,
I
Alright.
was so happy. This is how much joy travel brings me. Like nothing could have got me down, dude.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not the fact that I didn't sleep one wink on the flight there.
Right.
Not even a single
That's
solitary
crazy.
snooze.
That's crazy.
Did I almost get into it with 3 French guys who were talking in front of me?
Absolutely.
That here's the thing. So I'm on the flight and we're gonna get obviously we're getting it. It's a little disjointed, but we're gonna get into it. So I'm on the flight, right? It's a nighttime flight. It's an overnight flight, essentially.
Mhm.
All the lights are down. Everyone's got their eye masks on, and we're all trying to rest, right?
Right.
This group of French boys is standing, and I'm at the bulkhead where there's no seats in front of me. And then there's that like center part where the
Right.
flight attendants do all their stuff. They're in there, they're getting the coffee, they're getting all the stuff, right? These
Got
3
it.
guys walk up there, they're standing there, and they are talking at the hip top of their voices,
No
right?
decorum.
Over the plane, which is like a constant roar. And so you can imagine the guys talking on top of that. They're like, look, just wait a moment. And I was like, bro, I look at them and I'm like, this can't be. Like, you guys are only
You're
going to
like,
do this for like
"Just we
5
shut the fuck
minutes.
up."
Yeah, just we shut the actual fuck up, yo. Like, just we's American, and I've had it up to here already with you French fucks, okay? And I'm only saying that, guys, because I have a very strong reverence for the French, and you guys know that we're a French podcast, so we can
We're
say this.
we're a French
We're a
podcast.
French podcast, okay? So I'm like, okay. At one point, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go up to these guys. I'm gonna level with them. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
sensitive. I'm gonna be like, you know what? Like, hey, I get
Right.
up, I walk over to them. I'm like, hey guys, so sorry to interrupt this palling around you guys are doing, this absolute bro moment. But the whole
Right.
rest of the plane's trying to sleep. Could you guys keep it
Yeah.
down, maybe, right? And of course, they turn to me and they're just like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, 'cause I'm trying. And I'm like, dormir, like try like just sweet
Yeah.
dormir, like trying to sleep.
Right.
And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And I'm like, didn't feel like that landed, but that's okay. At least I
Right.
did my
They're like,
part. Right. They're like,
"Go, go."
Alanzi. So I'm like, at least I did my part. Like, I did my part to go up and say something first, you know?
Right.
And then
That which was kind of a warning.
it was a warning. And I think that's
Right.
fair because I'm not really a
Like when teachers
snitch.
give you a warning, it's like,
Yes. It's a
"This is a warning."
warning, a
Ah, ah, ah.
warning.
Yeah.
The American
Nothing
has
scarier, by
issued
the way, than a
a
teacher that goes,
warning.
"Ah, ah, I'm
Oh,
giving you a warning."
right, of course. So I go back, I sit down, I put my eye mask on, and I'm like, okay, like now, and they've quieted down a little bit. Not more than 5 minutes later, they're back to volume up, and I'm fucking
Mm-mm.
pissed. I take off
Mm-mm.
my eye mask, and I look
Mhm.
up, and one of them is literally standing, staring directly at me.
Oh, they were
And I'm
doing it on
like, "Oh, no. Now look what you've
purpose.
done.
Ooh, what are you gonna do when you're 3,000 feet up in the air in
What are
a
you gonna do with the in
can?
Hebrew? You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna go fucking tattletale. That's what you're gonna do."
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
kept eye contact with him, and I stood up, took all my stuff off, and I
yeah.
turned and walked straight to the flight attendant at the back. And I was like, "I'm so sorry, but these guys are talking so loud and they are disrupting everybody in my row." And she was like,
Right.
"Oh my gosh, okay, thank you for letting me know." She went up and absolutely told them to fuck off. Did not see them again for the entire flight, my entire trip.
Wow, dude.
And I was like, I
Imagine
didn't
you
want to
saw
have
them
to
on
do
your
this.
trip.
Dude, imagine we're just like all in the bus. We're on the tour bus thing together. We're like,
That
I
is
I'm not a
yeah.
snitch, but I was like, dude, you got to shut the actual fuck up right
You're not
now.
a snitch, but you are Michael McGrady's daughter, and that you
Um,
will if there's an inconvenience and then you
mhm.
can't take care of it yourself, you're gonna tell somebody to take care of it.
But I also felt like I wasn't
Um,
out of line when it was a nighttime flight. It's not like it
no,
was
and
like
it's a nighttime flight.
it's not like it was like lights are up and they're doing food service. And
No,
I'm like, hey,
complete
can you
dude,
guys quiet down? I was like, everyone's asleep.
right. I am such a people pleaser that I would just suffer,
I know.
and
And you
that's
would.
awful, and then I'd be seething,
Yeah.
seething at them.
Seething mad. The thing is that I knew I had like 7 more hours and the seething was going
Oh
to eat away at
god.
my soul.
The
So I
ways
had
that
I had to do something.
no one knows how to fly, and I know we've talked about it, not to
No
beat a dead
one knows
horse,
how
but,
to
like, no one knows how
fucking
to
fly.
fly.
Nobody there
You go
listen.
in, you sit, you do your thing, you be quiet, you
Yes.
have 1 snack, you do 2 bathroom breaks if it's
Mhm.
over 6 hours, and that's it,
Mhm.
you're done. It's there's no
No, don't
I
get
yeah.
up, don't walk around. On my
Mm-mm.
flight home, I had a girl who was trying to do laps around, and I was once again
Right.
in the bulkhead, and so I was in the center, and you could walk across it, but you're not supposed to. That's a row. And this girl did it 2 times and asked me if I didn't put my backpack in front of me and my legs up on the thing, on the wall. I was like, "Nope, it ends here,
Absolutely.
sweetheart.
That's
You're not gonna jog
absolutely.
around the plane. You don't get to do
No.
that. None of us get to do that. You're gonna have
But it's the
swollen
same
ankles like the
people.
rest of us."
Yeah, you get to the fluid is puddling
Is
at your
puddling
ankles.
in your
You don't
ankles
get to
like the
do
rest of
it's like
us.
when people do like one of
The
these and they like go
yoga,
up,
they're doing
and they're
yoga. I'm
like
like, "No,
going
you're gonna be stiff as a
down.
board like the rest of us."
Right. Like we all paid $900 for this 2x2 seat.
Yes.
We're not all getting up and
We're
doing
all
a yoga class.
suffering together, and that's the beauty of
Yeah,
it, okay? That's the beauty of community. So, Air France, it sucked,
can suck your
and
dick.
they
Okay.
left my bag for it was the whole night, so I landed, it was like 1 o'clock, whatever, realized I wasn't gonna have my bag, had to go up, deal with the Air France people. They told me, "Don't worry, it'll be in your hotel room by tonight," and I said, "I don't believe you, but
Yeah.
thank you anyway." I head
Yeah.
over to the hotel, I check in, do all that. I feel disgusting, okay?
Of course.
I've been traveling for 15 hours, okay? I smell like sweaty vagina, okay? I smell
Absolutely.
like dirty
For some
hair.
reason, when you travel, don't you smell like sweaty vagina? Like,
Oh,
literally, you're
way
just like,
worse than
there's like
normal.
stuff that is like literally like stewing down there. I don't know what
Right.
it is, but it's like
No.
your legs have been closed for too long. Things are now
Yes.
like
And you're
permeating
30,000
through
feet.
the
There's
body.
like something with the altitude that
There's
gets in there.
something with it, dude. I know.
Percolating. No, it's
I
bad. It's
know.
bad. So I show up, and of course I get out of all my clothing because at this point, all I give a shit about is getting out of these clothes and getting into a shower. Okay.
Yeah.
I do that. I'm in a towel.
Did you raw dog a show? Oh, well, I guess Martin had some stuff there, but I was gonna say, did you raw dog it with like a hotel like shampoo and conditioner?
So I did. I did. I raw
That's
dogged it with the
crazy.
hotel shampoo conditioner and the body wash.
Wow, dry, dude.
It was brave of me. It was really brave, and
That's
I'm
brave. You
honestly
were dry. You were
that's
cracking.
I was cracking. It was bad, dude. And guess what? They didn't have conditioner. So ask me if I only could shampoo.
Could have told you that. Could have told you that.
Horrible. Hey, Europe, where's your conditioner?
Yeah.
What's the deal? So I get in, I take all the clothes, I get in the shower. I have a great shower. It's not the best shower I have of that trip,
Right. It's
but
a
it's
shower.
good because it's a
Yeah.
shower. I get in
Yeah.
there, do that, order paella up to my room. I'm happy as a clam. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in my towel. I don't even think about borrowing Martin's clothes because one thing about me is that I'm bigger than my husband. Okay. My husband's a
Same.
XL, 2XL. I'm a 3, 4X. So none
Okay.
of his clothes
I
fit
see
me.
your XL to
I
XL and
know.
raise
I
you a
know.
perfect
A
large.
medium.
And then, no, literally, I hold
I
up
know.
Ryan's pants and I'm like, are these Hudson's or are these yours? I
Your
can't.
husband is so infamously stringy.
Narrow and some,
He's very
it's
narrow.
literally, he'll be like, one time really quickly, he bought a Sag Harbor sweatshirt and he was like, I'm gonna get an extra large so we could share it. And I was like, okay.
Oh, that's cute. That's precious.
Okay. Sure.
Aw,
Sweet.
aw.
I know.
That's
That
really
was sweet
cute that
though.
he thought that, but also
I know.
flattering. So
Anyways.
I'm not even thinking about borrowing Martin's clothes. Like everyone was like, "Why can't you just borrow your husband's clothes?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like his slacks that he brought for work? Like my husband
Right.
doesn't hang out in like he hangs out in the same shorts that he wore when he was in high school that he got from
Right.
his school from his high school shopping. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
it's not like he has like a nice oversized pair of Adidas pants. Like that's just not the
Right.
way he rolls, right? So I'm in a towel, I'm eating my food. I'm so happy. And this is the story I haven't told you yet. Guys, I saved this story just to tell
Yeah.
Hunter on the podcast. And this is the one of the craziest things that's happened to me on a trip. And it was the craziest thing that happened to me whilst I was in Barcelona. So I'm in a towel, as we've discussed at length at this point. I'm eating my food. I'm so happy. I take it out onto the little patio that we had. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in Barcelona eating paella. Like I
Yeah.
was just truly
Thriving.
living. I was living my life. Okay. And afterwards, I'm like, okay, I don't really know what this hotel situation is for picking up room service because most hotels are like, leave it out, we'll come get it, let us know. Some places are like, call us and we'll come grab it from your room, whatever. So I call
Yeah.
down and I'm like, hey guys, what should I do with my food when I'm done with it? And they're like, just leave it outside your door, we'll send somebody up. Okay. And I'm like, okay, sweet. I'm all finished. I grab my plates. I go out the door and I put my tray down.
Okay. Don't tell me the door closed behind you.
I hear
Are
a
you pulling a
slam.
Hunter McGrady in New York City?
I am. I hear the door slam shut behind
No.
me.
What towel are you wearing? The hotel towel?
And I'm wearing the hotel towel. And ask me how big you think a hotel European towel
Michaela, even
is.
my own home towels can't wrap fully around me, let alone
I
a
know.
hotel towel.
We buy specialty towels that still don't wrap around. Ask me if I'm labia, thigh,
Michaela.
vagina out.
You
Creases
know when you
are
wrap yeah,
out.
you wrap the towel and it has that little, like, that
That
slit that just shows a
triangle.
slit of everything down the middle.
But it
You're
wasn't even
getting
a
a
slit,
full
bro. It was a tenting. It
you're
was a
pulling a Hunter in New
full
York City. Like, when I f
100%.
oh
I was out there,
my
tits
baptized by fire.
baptized by fire. The hotel, that their first impression of me was me like, "Hi, I'm my bags are lost, so like they're gonna bring them. And I'm just sorry, I'm gonna go to the room. If you hear just chaotic to begin with, okay, which is not my
Michaela,
normal
what did
style.
you do?
So in my head, I don't have my phone on me. I don't have
Michaela, this is
anything
I know this
on
feeling. I
me. You
know this
know, it
feeling.
is dread. The dread, it snaked up my spine into my cortex of my brain. The
This is even worse than
dread.
mine. I was luckily in booty shorts and a little like this is
You were in booty shorts,
yeah, no,
right?
this is 10 times worse.
Right.
This is literally the nightmare.
I've been here for 2 hours. I've been in Barcelona, okay? I've been in Spain for 2 hours, and this is how it's starting out. So I'm standing here, I'm in my towel, and I'm like, "Fuck, what do I do?" And I literally thought to myself,
Absolutely.
I was like, "You know what? This is not gonna be that bad. I'm gonna make it not be bad." First of all, like, okay, so I'm standing there. I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? I go over to I'm like literally thinking, what else can I do besides go down to the front desk? There's no other option. There's
Right.
nothing else I can do. Short of
Unless you literally yes.
knocking on my neighbor's door, I could be like, hey, I'm so sorry. I'm right here, locked out. Can I borrow your thing to call down so they let me
Yeah.
in? Cool. Embarrassing, but like not as bad as going down, right? But then I was like, I don't know who's over here. I don't know who's in this hotel room. What if they're not here? I'm gonna have to go down
Right.
and go to the front. And of course, the front desk can't just be like right out by the
No.
elevators. It's around this hall, down this thing. You have to go in,
Absolutely.
you have to go through basically the restaurant. Like it's this whole thing. It was going to be like a Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen movie. Okay. Like I was gonna be naked American running through the hotel. I go over to the elevator and I'm sitting here and I'm like, God, please don't make me do this. Like I don't even have shoes on. No
No,
shoes, nothing,
I
dude.
know this
Bare
feeling.
ass. You know this feeling of like,
It's
no,
humbling.
humbling, right? I hear a ding and it's the elevator and opens the door and it's one of the cleaning ladies.
Oh my god.
And
Thank
I
you,
look at her and
God.
I
You're
go,
gonna look at me until it said God's not real?
listen, in that moment, there's something out there. All right. There's something out there. And they
I
were looking out for me
mean,
that day. And I looked at her in the eyes and she looked at me and I looked at her and we looked at each other and I was like, so I just got locked out of my room, but like gave her the whole spiel. She didn't speak any English.
right.
So I'm like trying to speak to her in like a little bit of broken Spanish. And I'm like, can we just, what do we do? And she goes, she's like, you're a guest? And I was like, yes, I'm a guest. By the way, who's gonna break into a hotel, be in a towel naked on the 6th floor, and like pretend that they're a guest?
That's exactly who I would imagine is gonna break into your hotel. Someone who's like, "I'm in a
Somebody that would
towel.
do that.
How could I not be a guest? I'm in a
It's
towel."
almost so crazy that it could work. right? So
Absolutely.
she calls down to the front desk and I'm like, "Hi, I'm so sorry. I locked myself out of my room. I'm in a towel. Like, is it like I'm in room 614. My last name is that, you know what I mean?" Gave them the full spiel and they were like, "Yeah, you literally just checked in. Like, how is this already
Right.
how are you already
Like, you're
causing
a
so much?
menace. Leave our
You're a
property.
menace already." And by the way, this was not the first time I was a menace in this hotel, okay? And you guys already know that. You already know that that's the case. So thank God, Cecilia, my queen Cecilia,
Oh,
who had to
Queen
deal with me so
Cecilia.
many more times.
My God, I hope you left her a fiver, dude.
I did. We did. We did. We left Cecilia a tip. I was like, this is for Cecilia and Cecilia only.
Yeah.
So she lets me in and I'm like, thank God. And then she gets mad at me because I left my food outside and she was like, no, you leave it in the hotel room. We'll come get it. Don't leave it outside. So she was already pissed at me. And then I did something wrong and she like scolded me. I was like, I'm sorry, Cecilia.
So you
I
had to
fucked
bring the
up. I don't
food
know what to
back
do.
in.
I'm
Yeah.
naked. You know, like, what do you even do at that point?
Dude, that is literally like you can't make that up. Like that is
No.
something also, by the way, it's like, are you okay? You know? Are
Yeah.
you okay?
Right.
How do you
Right.
let the door slam behind you?
Dude, I just
You
was
were
in
just
not I wasn't in hotel
you
mindset
were
yet.
in La La Land.
I was in La La Land. After that, it was hotel mindset. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm bringing my key everywhere. My key is going in the vagina and it's staying there.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
that's my
literally.
pocket going forward.
Literally.
So Martin got home like after work a couple hours after that, and I was still in the towel. And he was like, "Why don't you just wear like my shorts and my hoodie?" And I
Right.
was like, "I didn't know you brought any of that stuff." And he was like, "Yeah, of course." So here I am in Martin's like knee shorts. I'm looking like John Cena slash Rosie O'Donnell with like his hoodie that's like like not thick. It's like a thin hoodie. I have no bra, so it's just like tits are just bouncing everywhere. I'm in like I'm like a hoodie. I'm in H&M cotton shorts that don't fit me. They're too small. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
wearing.
Nothing is like
I
a
don't have
good
any
fabric.
socks. No, I
Yeah.
have his socks that are like a men's sock and nothing. Yeah, nothing is a good fabric. Nothing is a girl fabric. And you guys know what I mean. Okay. Cotton is for the girls, the polyester is for the boys. I'm standing there. I've got the only thing on my body that's mine are my Adidas's. So all of this,
Which, like,
had.
couldn't be a more, like, unsexy shoe
It's
too.
the most unsexy shoe,
It's like a
dude. It's
soccer
just like,
shoe.
it's a soccer shoe. It's a slim, low profile sneaker. Okay. And that compared to my like shapely calves, it's giving absolute soccer player. Where are
Abs
my shin guards?
absolutely, dude, and, like, it's just so funny because like, you worked so hard to, like, curate so
To
many
pull fits.
outfits.
That's the thing. And I kept thinking that I'm like, these people don't even know what I'm capable of. Like, they
Oh
think
my
I'm coming in
god.
here just typical American, underdressed, like wearing like, what is she
And you
even
gave them
in?
that.
And I gave them that, dude. I gave that to them, and that was their first impression of me. And here's the thing,
Yeah.
guys. I had to wear that outfit that whole night, even to bed. I had to wear that.
Oh my god.
And then the next day, when I went out for my very first jaunt into the city to go to Primark to get clothes to change into so that I could not be wearing my Rosie O'Donnell fit while I was on my tour bus that day that I
I
had
can't,
booked.
dude. But then what happened at Primark? Right when
Well,
you swiped your card?
right when I swipe my card, and guys, I can literally post the photo when so I was at Primark for probably like an hour because it's chaos. There's 7
Yeah.
different levels. It's absolutely madness. I've never been to Primark before, so I was like, "Where is everything?" Trying on stuff, just trying to figure out like a comfortable whatever fit for this like day that I didn't even know it was like gonna rain, but maybe not gonna rain. It was almost like, you know how they have like almost like an America's Next Top Model challenge of like, okay, so
Yes.
this is your outfit that you need to wear, but it's gonna rain. However, you're in a place where you
Right.
can't just wear leggings everywhere. Like, it was a whole thing.
Dude,
So I get to Primark, I figure out an outfit. It's absolutely the biggest challenge of my life. It's also like I want to look cute. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's like,
that's
what's
actually kind
functional,
of a
what's cute?
fun challenge.
It is. It was a little bit fun if I wasn't so
Do they
stressed
have
and if I wasn't sweating my balls off because I was in my husband's shorts.
kind of a fun challenge, I feel like? Like,
Yeah, it was
uh,
fun
but
in a
also, do
way.
they do plus sizes?
No, but they do like their sizes is like just very kind of like all over the place. Like their XXLs are like
Right.
big, you know what I mean? So it like ended up
Right.
being fine. Um, but literally, you guys, I can, like I said, I can post the photo. I swipe my card at Primark. One single solitary minute later, the hotel calls me and says that my bag is there.
I think they're all in cahoots. I think it's
They're all
exactly
in
what they want.
cahoots. They're all in
That what
cahoots.
a perfect storm,
Mm.
right? Lost the
A perfect
baggage,
storm. Mhm.
okay? We're gonna hold it enough to where, like,
Right.
she has to go and get something to wear. They're
Yes.
in cahoots with Primark, the hotel is
Yes.
too.
For sure.
She goes, they
We're
say,
gonna humble
right
her
when you swipe,
first.
we're gonna
Mhm.
humble her. Right when you swipe, they go, okay, now text her. Give
Right.
her a text. And by the way,
Mhm.
our return policy, you can't return. Like it's
No
gonna be
returns.
something like that.
No returns. The only thing that was good is that Air France did reimburse me for my Uber there and the clothing. So, yeah,
Really?
so just FYI, they will reimburse, and I found this out afterwards. They will reimburse up to
Oh.
$1,200 if you have to buy supplies. Now,
Okay, I literally would have been like, I bought a bag.
I'm at Gucci. I didn't know this. And honestly, I'm not the type that's gonna take advantage of that. Like, even if I knew that, like,
Yeah.
maybe I would have gotten, like, something nicer or gone somewhere nicer, like, I would have gone to, like, a Mango or something,
Right.
but I didn't know. I didn't know how, like, what their limits were. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just like, "I need to get clothing so that I
Wow.
can, like, go have my day," you know? But
Well,
yeah,
there you
guys,
go,
just
people.
for future reference, if you ever lose your bag, I'm pretty sure all airlines have some, like, level of amount that they will reimburse if you have to get clothing or get supplies or take an Uber. Like, they covered my Uber
Yeah.
there, they covered all that kind of stuff.
And
So,
sometimes your supplies is a Louis Vuitton.
yeah, and sometimes it is, and that's
Sorry.
great. Sorry.
Wow, that is a missed opportunity there. But now we know.
Yeah. You know what I hate? Can I just tell you? You know how when
What?
you go into hotels and you get in bed, they they they've packed they've made the bed sheets so tight that you feel like you're in a vice, where you're like you're
Yeah.
getting into the sheets and there's so much fabric underneath the bed that your weight is holding it down from coming out, and you're just, like, stuck in the bed. Does that make sense?
Yes. So, actually, the very first thing that I do when I get to a hotel is rip all that up.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because I cannot stand when you get into a bed and you're just like literally
Right.
like suction underneath. God forbid something happen and you need to jump out. You're not jumping out of that bed. That
No.
bed is and it's designed that way. Okay.
Yes.
And the thing is this for what? For why? For who? Who are you
For
doing that for?
why?
It also, I have to say, we often see on like a Bed Bath and Beyond RIP or
Mm.
like an Amazon like hotel collection
Mhm, mhm.
sheets.
Mm-mm.
And I'm like, what like if when I think hotel collection now, I
Yeah.
think bad sheets. Like
Cardboard
literally I've
sheets.
cardboard thin, usually
Mm.
has like the thinnest little duvet with like one little sheet underneath. I'm like,
Mm. Mm-mm.
hotels. I mean, what's going on?
Hotels used to be nice. Hotels used to be nice. Now I will say the hotel we stayed in was nice. The bed couldn't have been more rock hard.
Oh, yeah.
It was literally rock hard, and, so that was an experience, having just, like, getting in and just hearing it sounded like I hit
The
a
bones.
platform. Yeah, it was right to the bones, right to the hips, right to the shoulder. So those pressure points were, irritated the entire trip. A couple things
Yeah.
that I wanna say about Spain. Okay, first of all, water bottles are not a thing there. Like, you know how we walk around with our
Really?
Stanleys, we walk around with our hydro jugs, all that? Not a thing there. Nobody has them.
Really? No hydration.
No hydration. They don't know her. They don't know hydration.
Okay.
They know cigarettes and they know coffee and they know
Okay.
croissants, but that's all they
Love
know.
that.
They don't know hydration. They don't know iced coffee. Iced
Mm,
coffee is not a thing. You would have
yeah.
been
I
happy
think
because they do fuck with iced lattes, but that's about it. Otherwise, I had to go to Starbucks because that's the only place that they like understood what I meant when I said iced coffee. Otherwise, they
really?
were, like, very confused, and this happened when I was in Mexico, and this has happened in other countries. They're like, "Iced coffee? But, like, why ice coffee hot? Like,
Yeah.
why do you need?" And I'm like,
Like, it's crazy.
"Because I'm an American, and we like ice in everything."
Yeah.
It's
A
annoying
lot of
how much
places
we
in Europe
decide.
don't even like ice water. Like, it's
No,
just, you don't,
they don't.
there's not, you have to
No,
ask
because
for ice.
honestly, I think ice machines are kind of a luxury to begin with, and they're
Yeah.
just not necessary to them. I do think too, I think that as Americans, we do love a good iced beverage, and our taste buds and our teeth have like acclimated to that. Whereas like
Yeah.
I don't think other places it's that big of a deal, so they haven't acclimated to it. But anyway, so iced coffee was hard to come by. Unfortunately, I had to go but to Starbucks just so many times.
Oh,
Oh, it's so
what a
tough. There's
pain.
no walking and eating. No one walks and eats. You know
Oh,
how like here
really?
you'll see someone walking down the street, sandwich, whatever, they're eating something, drinking something.
Yeah.
No, none of that.
Okay.
Everyone sits and
Okay.
eats
I like that.
sobremesa. Now, you guys
I like
know,
that.
Hunter, I talked to you about this. There's a thing called sobremesa. And I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but it sounds good.
That sounds
Sounds
nice.
right. Essentially, this is where at the end of a meal, you sit for 2 hours with the person that you're with and you chit chat
Mm.
and you just sort of
Okay.
hang out. Maybe you have a cappuccino, you have a
Yeah.
whatever, a nice glass of cava wine.
I like that.
I like it, but I don't have that kind of time. I don't live here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I gotta
I
go.
like that though. I I
I
I
do.
think that like with Americans, we're so like, okay, go, 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 go. Like, let's eat, let's
Hmm.
eat, let's eat, let's like move, move, move. And
Yep.
it's like you're really missing that like community. You're missing
100%.
that like one-on-one and that
Absolutely.
connection. And
Right.
I want sombresa.
So Bonamesa. That being said, the connection, yes. Community, yes. I gotta go.
You have to go. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've
You
gotta
have
go.
you're like,
After
okay, this is great, but like I have
right.
things I want to see while I'm here.
That's the thing. And the thing was also, I've been touring all day and I just
Yeah.
wanna get home. I wanna eat my food and I wanna get home. I do not have 2 hours to
You don't
spend
want to sit
talking
and
to my
talk to Martin for
husband
2
that I've been talking to for 9 hours. It's like, we've covered it all.
hours.
We've
Right.
been together 10 years. Like, we're good. We just wanna go home at this point, okay?
Right,
So
right.
there was that. The other thing, cops walk around with assault rifles.
Okay. Well, hey,
So
in
that was a
Italy, they
thing.
walk around literally with like
Yeah,
machine
like
guns.
straight that's what I mean, as machine guns.
Oh,
Like they
yeah.
were just standing there, this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like,
Which I kind of like.
no, because here I am with my March 4th hat on, and I'm just like trying to get all rifles banned in America. And these guys are just like this, and we're looking at each other, and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, and he's
Yeah.
like,
You know what I will
what do you
say
want from me?
though is that yes, that is like very much it's like an intimidation thing.
It's
Um,
terrifying.
were the police there hot? The police in
Yes.
Italy, like, when you go, they're so clean
Yes.
shaven and, like, well groomed and, like, the uniforms are beautiful.
Yes, yes. I think that being a cop is such a guy in their 20s, 30s gig. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah,
they're gonna be at like their peak attractiveness. So
yeah,
it's like that's why I feel like cops usually are good looking. I didn't
yeah.
find that the men in Spain were like any more attractive than the men anywhere. I honestly just think
Yeah,
that
that's
we've
actually
gotten to a
very
point
interesting.
where we have beautiful people everywhere. That's really what I think.
Where do you think the men are hottest?
I think the men are hottest in America
Okay,
because I
but
think,
where?
well, I guess here, California, they are very attractive here.
I think New York and I think Washington, DC. I think the freaking
Yeah, well, you
Secret
love a
Service.
clean cut boy, and they
Yeah.
are in droves in Washington D.C. Can I tell you something that I really hate while we're here?
Yeah.
I hate when people say that they're being a tourist in their own city.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a class. It's like
I can't tell you how much I hate when people say that.
yeah, yeah.
Dude, you're not a tourist. You
Right,
live
you live
there.
here.
You live here. You're just going to places in your town. That's not
Right,
being a tourist.
right. Yes. However,
And
I love to be a tourist in my own
you've said this
town.
before. And dude, I saw someone say it because I was looking up like what are some fun reels I can do, and I had someone be like, being a tourist in my own town. And bro,
Right.
I wanted to cyberbully so bad. I wanted to cyberbully so bad because it pissed me off so much.
Yeah. That is well, okay, but here's the thing. Like for me, like I wouldn't do like a double-decker bus in New York City. That's
Okay,
touristy,
sure.
right? Wouldn't that be like being a
Yes.
tourist in my own town?
A tourist is when you go to a place you don't live and you check out the sights. If you live there, you're just looking at your town. You're just experiencing life as a townsfolk. You're just
Yeah, as a
experiencing life
townsman.
as a citizen of the city. That's what
Right.
it is. When you're a
Yeah.
tourist,
So, a anyone listening, don't you dare
don't you
say
fucking
that ever. You
dare
understand us?
say it. Um, we went to a flamenco show. It was so amazing. I cried.
Oh, I
Um,
know, dude, that was really
oh,
cool.
it was so moving. I've never seen performances like this. I've never seen passion. I've never seen it was like the women were dancing was such a combination of like passion, fierceness, gentleness, beauty, and also
Yeah.
female rage. There was
There's,
female
like
rage, and that hit me. That struck a chord in me.
and I think that flamenco dancers, that's, like, generational. Like, I think that that's,
Totally.
like, they're, like, family members or moms
Mhm.
or grandma like, I
Yep.
think that that's, like, something that is, like, passed down in a way, and I've only
Absolutely.
ever seen it on TV, but, like, I can imagine just, like, being in a room with them, and you look it was, like, close. It wasn't like a stage, was it?
No, so the whole point of flamenco is that it is supposed to be very intimate. Like, you're supposed to feel like you're just, like, in this room with them. I think that adds to it. Like, you
Yeah.
feel super immersed.
Yeah.
You're uncomfortably close to the audience, so you're just like, you know, I was basically
Right.
in a stranger's lap, but
Yeah, which I love.
we love being in a stranger's lap.
I love
Dude,
that. I love
at the end of the day, I looked up so much during this trip. Every photo of me is just me literally looking up. Like, I'm
I
just, like,
know.
looking up. Looked
I
so much.
did
Looked up so
I
much.
did pick up on that, and I was wondering if you looked out at all, and, I went
No.
through and I said, "Oh, she only looked up." And that's okay
I
because
only looked up the entire time.
most you had like, the cathedrals,
Mm,
the Europe here's the thing, America might have better customer service.
mhm.
Europe has better buildings and better
For sure.
architecture and
For sure.
better literally, like, that cathedral that you sent me, the
Yeah.
photos and you were like, "Dude, these won't don't even do them justice." And I was like, "This if this doesn't do this justice, I've never seen a more beautiful place in my life."
Yeah.
It
I
literally
sent you the
what is it
photos and I
called?
was like the Sagrada Familia. I sent Hunter the photos and I was like, "These photos don't even do it justice." And you responded, "These are the most beautiful photos I've ever seen of anything, and you're telling me
Yeah.
these don't do it justice." Like,
Yeah. Like,
I don't even wanna
I was
know
almost
what it's like.
emotional. I would probably cry. Did you cry?
Of course.
Like,
Of
I would probably cry
course.
seeing something like that because in my brain, like, it was weird seeing it because almost it felt like I had seen it before or, like, that's what I had truly imagined heaven to look like.
Right. That was the whole
It was
point
very weird.
of
Yeah.
the architect. His name is Gaudí. That was his whole purpose, was to make it feel like you're in heaven. There's like an
Really?
organicness to it. There's like a otherworldly beauty. It's so big. I mean, when I first saw it from the outside, I did like start crying because I'd always wanted to see it. It's
Yeah.
been on my bucket list for years.
Yeah.
But there's just the
The outside was beautiful, but it was the inside that did it
The
for me.
inside really it's and also there's 2 sides. There's the modern side and then there's the gothic side of it. So there's like the
Yeah.
more kind of like there's like the more just like statuesque side
Yeah.
where it's like also the Spanish really love a crucifixion. They love the crucifixion of Christ.
I would
I
thrive
went to the
there.
National Gallery of Barcelona, and literally every room was just another artist's iteration of the crucifixion. And I was like, "You guys love the crucifixion of Christ."
They
It almost got to a point where
love
I was laughing. I would go into another room and it'd be another example of the crucifixion. I was just
There's
like, "I
2
get it."
things to be true about Spain. They love the crucifixion of Christ and they
Yes.
love paella,
They
okay?
love
And we know
paella.
this to be true because every
Yes.
meal you had paella,
Uh-huh.
the people were paella,
Yes.
the
Everything was
chairs
coming
were
up
paella,
paella. The
everything was coming out
food
paella. And now paella
mhm.
is mainly seafood, right?
It could be a lot of things. It's like a bunch of things. So it's like obviously
Yeah.
it's the rice is the main thing, and then
Oh,
like
so
there's
good.
chicken options, there's sausage options. It usually does have like clams and shrimp and all kinds. It's literally so good. It's so
Uh,
good. One little
literally,
tip
like,
for
you
anyone
just had the
traveling,
best paella you'll ever have.
don't get any paella on Las Ramblas. So that's like kind of like their Venice Boulevard. It's sort of like all
Mhm.
that vibe is like if there's pictures of the food outside, do not go there.
Why do they tell you that everywhere you go in Europe? Do you know that they literally tell you
I
that in
know,
Venice? They
because
tell you
that's
that in
like their
Paris. They tell you
tourist traps. That's how they get people to be like, "Ooh, this is that like here's the tiramisu that Italy's so famous for." They try
yeah,
to get you, whereas all the local spots that are really good are going to be like you're going to have to find them from the internet. You're going to have to find them from recommendations from locals, things like that. So like
yeah,
number one, if you ever are in Barcelona, you can walk up and down Los Ramblas, but like I don't recommend it. That's where most of the pickpocketing happens, apparently. Also, if you're ever, I mean, really, it's true. Anywhere you're in Europe, don't go somewhere where there's pictures of the food outside. That's just like gonna be a tourist trap, and it's gonna be more
yeah.
expensive, and the food's not even gonna be as good.
And were people like Barcelona?
Barcelona, yes, they were, and I was like, you know what, Barcelona, absolutely,
Honestly, if I
Ibiza,
may, Barcelona.
Barcelona. So yeah, guys, I mean, I could go on and on. I'm gonna be posting on my
But
Instagram more photos
really
and more
quick, I
things,
wanna
but
before
yeah,
we head out, I wanna
no, I
tell
haven't.
you guys the craziest thing that I've ever heard and I've ever seen someone do while traveling,
Mm,
and that was
I
this.
knew this was coming.
Michaela and Martin, you guys left the same time, right?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
2 hours apart, yeah.
Yeah. So Michaela on her way home, she's like, I'm like, oh my God, you must be so happy to come home. Like she had a layover in Atlanta. I was like,
Mhm.
you guys just must be thrilled. And she was like, I know, except for I have to wait an hour and a half for Martin to land. And I was like, screech. What? Huh? And I said, "What do you mean?" You said, "Oh, he took a different flight than me. He left a bit later and he has a different stopover and landing an hour and a half later." And I said, "You guys left at the same time. You're not on the same plane the whole time. You guys are not sitting next to each other on the same plane experiencing this. You guys are flying literally perpendicular to each other, essentially.
Literally, yeah.
He's like flying in your tailwind." What?
I
I
know.
could not wrap my head around this. I literally was I was talking to Brian about it. I was talking to like anyone who would listen. I was like, "Can you believe this?
Can you
They
even
flew
understand this?
2 separate flights. They didn't fly." Like that's wild, Michaela.
I know,
But that
I
is
know.
so you guys to do that. That's so you guys to do that. So Martin had booked his before. You had found one that was like a little bit better price. I get it, but I was just like not being next to someone and then literally, like, just from the same place being like, "Okay, see you in America."
Right, and
What?
that's what it was, and he went to Montreal and I went to Atlanta, so it was almost like we went like this, diamond shape, and then back into LA.
That's wild.
24 hours of
That
travel,
is
but yeah.
wild.
It's just like for me, it's kind of like being on a train and I'm in
Yeah.
one car and he's in the other car and like who really cares as long as we end up in the same spot? Like who really cares? You know what I mean?
I don't like it. It makes me very uncomfortable. It
Does it
makes
does
me
it
very
is it just the
uncomfortable.
fact that like I wasn't with him or is it like the
Yeah.
sadness that we're not together?
No, it's not sad.
Like what is it?
It's like I can't even explain it. It makes my back itch, dude. Like,
Ri-
it just is like, why? Like, I can't even go to like look, I don't even think I would, like, be like, "Brian, you take the train, and then I'm gonna drive in the city, and I'll come meet you." Like, that would be weird to me, let alone, like, going t
Right.
from one
What
country
if
to another,
one
like,
was like $400 less?
I think I may just bite it
Really?
and yeah, just
No,
to be, like, with my
dude.
person and be
If
like,
you're
"We're just
just
gonna"
gonna be on the like, you're just on the plane, you're not doing
Yeah,
anything
but you're also
together.
fine with flying middle seat if need be, and I think that's crazy.
I'm so chill on a flight, dude. I'm like, "Put me
Yeah.
anywhere, I'm just happy to be there." Like, you guys know, like, travel is so expensive,
Yeah.
and
Oh, dude, these days, oh
it's
my god.
always inconvenient, it's always uncomfortable. There's unless you're paying an absolute ass load of money, it's just gonna be an uncomfortable even if you are paying an ass load of money, like, difference between first class and business is nothing. I mean, it's truly, like, it's not that big of a
Yeah.
difference as far as experience, but the cost is crazy,
Yeah.
and for me, I know that in order for me to travel at this time in my life, like, I just have to be chill about being uncomfortable for a few hours, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause it just otherwise I'm not
You're
gonna be
just
able
not
to
gonna go.
go. I'm not gonna be able to go.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to do it. So, yeah, I mean, it was definitely, an experience getting back home. Again, literally 24 hours of travel from the time we woke up to the time that we got home, 24 hours.
That's
So,
crazy.
that was
Cranky, cranky.
crazy. Crank yankers. I don't can't even get into that. Overall, the most beautiful trip, the most gorgeous place. I highly recommend Spain. I highly recommend Barcelona. Everyone was like very chill there. Nobody wanted to go like super crazy out of their way for you, but that's cool and I admire that. They just are who
Yeah.
they are, you know?
They
And
are
the
who they
Spanish ride
are.
hard for their people.
Yeah, and I love that.
I
I
love
love
that
that.
for them. Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully one day I will
We
get
can
to
all go.
experience Barcelona.
You'll get to experience
Is it a
Barcelona.
place you would go back to
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
on your
Mhm.
own accord?
Yeah, I would. I think so. I think that I would love to go to other places in Spain. Like, I think
Yeah.
Barcelona is really, really beautiful, and I saw so many of the things I wanted to see, and I'm actually museumed out, which I told Hunter,
Yeah.
and she was shocked.
Yeah.
But I feel like there are other parts of Spain I would love to see.
Yeah.
Um,
No, of course. Of course.
you know what I mean? Like, there's
Yeah.
just a lot out there. But Barcelona's amazing, and I highly recommend y'all go. And that's it.
Well, hey, you heard it here first,
You heard it here
folks.
first. And I think if we can take
Um,
anything away from this, if your bag ever gets lost, take that airline for all they're worth and really hit that max.
and honestly, hit the max and honestly encourage them to lose it because that's
Yes,
nice.
exactly. And yeah, what else can be
Yeah.
said? Buen
Well, what
dia.
else can be said?
Buen noche. Bom
Buona
dia.
noche and bom dia, dude. At the end of the day, bom dia. Guys, thank you for listening to the Model Citizen
Thank you
podcast. We love
guys.
you. We thank you.
Make sure you're
And
subscribed to the Patreon.
not subscribed.
Subscribed at
Dude, make
Barcelona.
sure you're subscribed in
Make
Barcelona,
you're
dude.
subscribed.
Absolutely. I'm not
Losing
even
her
gonna
mind.
say it.
Not
Yeah.
even gonna say. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Patreon and follow us on Instagram. Our names, follow us on the podcast on the Instagram. And we love you guys so much, and we will see you next week. Bye. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can catch a new episode of Model Citizen every Thursday. And please don't forget to follow the podcast so you don't miss any of the action. We want to hear from you. So please leave a rating and review and follow us on socials for all the behind the scenes action at Hunter McGrady and Michaela McGrady. And don't forget, you are worthy, you are loved, and you are capable of doing all wonderful things. Bye, guys.